I'm Vincent Chung, an associate in the immigration team.
Hi, I'm James Ritchie. I'm a solicitor in the immigration team at Burness Paul.
In March this year, the government introduced 3 new visa categories to allow companies to attract recognised and high potential talent from around the world. These are the Global Business Mobility route, the High Potential Individual route, and the Scale-Up Worker route. Some of these are already open for applications, whilst others won't be until later this year. The Global Business Mobility Visa establishes 4 visa routes to replace and reform existing routes. It also introduces an entirely new route called the Secondment Worker. The new replacement categories are Senior or Specialist Worker, which replaces intra-company transfer; Graduate Trainee, which replaces intra-company graduate trainees; UK Expansion Worker, which replaces sole representative of an overseas business; and Service Supplier, which replaces temporary work international agreement. These routes all require sponsorship. The sole representative category closed to new applications at 9 a.m. on 11th of April 2022. The new UK Expansion Worker route is still an option for overseas entities wishing to expand into the UK. However, there are some notable changes. For example, requirement to obtain a sponsor license. The job is at the appropriate skill level, minimum salary requirement, and no option to apply for permanent settlement in the UK. There are also positive changes allowing up to 5 employees from the overseas entities to be sent to the UK, whereas the previous position only allowed 1. In order for an application to be granted under the Secondment Worker visa category, an applicant must be seconded to the UK as part of a high-value contract or investment by their overseas employer worth at least £10 million per year and no less than £50 million in total. The contract needs to be registered with the Home Office. There are other requirements, including the applicant must have worked outside the UK for the overseas business for at least 12 months. The Scale-Up Worker category is another new business immigration visa route, and the only route of the announcement which leads to settlement. The route will open on 28th of August 2022 to applicants that can evidence a sponsored job offer from authorised UK scale-up companies. So far, we understand this to mean the company is one which has an annualised growth of at least 20% for the previous 3-year period looking at turnover or staffing, and has had a minimum of 10 employees at the start of this 3-year period. We expect the guidance to be issued when this route goes live, and it may be the definition will be refined to allow more scale-ups to be included.
The intra-company transfer visa, the ICT, is very similar to the new Senior or Specialist Worker, which it replaces. The immigration rules are almost mirrored in that there is no English language requirement and no route to settlement. If on one of the routes which have been replaced by the Global Business Mobility Visa, you will no longer be able to extend your visa under that route. You may, however, extend your stay in the UK by submitting an application to extend under the replacement route, if such a route allows for extension. To give an example, where one is currently on an ICT visa, you may extend this visa by applying for a renewal under the Senior or Specialist Worker route. The Global Business Mobility Visa routes have been live since the 11th of April 2022. The High Potential Individual Visa will open on the 30th of May this year, and the Scale-Up Worker Visa will follow on the 28th of August. At present, the Global Business Mobility Visa and the High Potential Individual categories are not routes to settlement, whereas the Scale-Up Worker will allow for settlement after a 5-year period. In order to meet the requirements for a High Potential Individual Visa, a recent graduate of a top global university must be aged 18 or over, meet the English language requirement at level B1, have been awarded a recognised UK bachelor's degree or higher in the 5 years immediately before applying. They must hold sufficient funds for their stay and satisfy the Home Office that they do not have tuberculosis via an approved medical certificate. More information on the specific requirements will be made available on or before the route going live. A successful applicant may then work full-time in any job. You may switch into one of the global mobility categories if you are currently on a visa which it has replaced, and you meet each of the new requirements, subject to time limit restrictions. The statement of changes announcing the scale-up and high potential individual visas does allow certain migrants in the UK to switch into this category. However, this is not possible for those on visas such as visitors, seasonal workers, and other short-term visas.